and the Edmonton Oilers. Let's meet the starting goaltenders. Devan Dubnyk stopped all 14 shots he faced Tuesday in blanking the Blue Jackets. Now he made 20 saves November the 5th in Florida. A win over the Panthers. And at the other end, 39-year-old Tim Thomas backstopped Florida to a win in Vancouver on Tuesday. Their first victory against the Canucks in Vancouver in 19 years. And their coach, Peter Horachek, joked the morning skate, guys, we haven't won in this building, Rogers Arena, ever. And Tim Thomas quietly said, I have, referring to June 15th, 2011, Game 7. He shut out the Vancouver Canucks in a Boston Bruin uniform to win the Stanley Cup. Both teams come in riding two-game winning streaks. The second two-game winning streak for the Oilers this year. For the Panthers, it's their first. And they get the first shot, and it goes just wide as Marcel Gosch let it go. Nail Yakupov out there with Hemsky and Gagne. No changes for the Oilers in their lineup, and no changes for the Florida Panthers. You don't make changes when you're coming off wins. Here's Yakupov from the corner, being watched by Tom Gilbert, and right away he draws a penalty. Now for the second straight game, Nail Yakupov getting the opposition to take penalties, and it's going to be the former Oiler, Tom Gilbert.
And that's just moving your feet for Nail Yakupov. We talked about how effective he can be when he gets his feet moving. Here just kind of spins away a little button hook, and for Gilbert just gets his stick in there where it shouldn't really be. And as a result, not much of a trip, but it was a trip as the stick takes out Yakupov, and he'll head to the penalty box in the first power play to Edmonton.
28 seconds in, the Oilers red hot. The man advantage in that game against Columbus. They were 3 for 4. They have scored 9 power play goals in their last 8 games, and they go with a formation that features 5 forwards. Yakupov and Hall will be on the point. This is Hall with the puck now. They'll get it down low to Jordan Eberle. He's got Perron in front. Nugent Hopkins moves himself back to the blue line. Eberle to Hall. Taylor Hall down low to Eberle. Back to Hall. He'll play it back up top. Nugent Hopkins with a wrist shot, and they score. Power play goal. Jordan Eberle at the side of the net makes it 1-0. 57 seconds into the hockey game.
And Kevin, I really like how the 5 forwards out here in this number 1 power play unit for Edmonton just immediately, once they get possession of this puck, they go to work. They set up shop. They go to the positions they want to be in. And it's Ryan Nugent Hopkins at the blue line with a little wrister that has eyes all the way through. And for Jordan Eberle, he just ensures this one gets through. I think it might have been going through anyway. But when you have the chance to knock it down, that's exactly what you do. And for Jordan Eberle, puts it home and a 1-0 lead.
His first power play goal of the season. And it is Nugent Hopkins and Hall who get the helpers 57 seconds in. Andrew Ference trying to keep it in. And it's Jonathan Huberdeau. Nick Bjugstad, that line is changing up, and now, boys, they're leading scorers on the ice with Upshall and Barkov. Boyd Gordon stopped right in front of the Florida bench, and David Perron picks it up. 2 goals, 2 assists for him in the game against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Back the other way comes Upshall. Upshall with Boyes, throws it towards the net. Devan Dubnyk makes his first save of the game, and he'll hang on to it. Well, by swiping a free club card at Safeway, Nadine Lawless of Edmonton has won the Men's Boulevard Marine Star Chronograph watch courtesy of Safeway and Imperial Margarine, and Jordan Eberle, his 7th goal of the year.
And here it is again quickly as a shot is taken. This puck is heading towards the net. And for Jordan Eberle, he ensures it goes across the line. Doesn't have to be a cannon from the blue line, Kevin. Just a shot that gets through. When you have that presence in front, pretty hard for the goaltender to make a save.
He moves into a tie with David Perron for most goals. He's got 7. Hall with the puck now. Here's Upshall. Eberle with a goal and an assist against Columbus. Now 4 points in his last 3 games. The Florida Panthers 3-8-1 on the road coming into this game. They lost November 5th, 4-3 in overtime. The Oilers, it was Mark Arcabello with 2 goals, including the game winner. Gilroy, slap pass, and that is stopped by Schultz. Here's another shot by Bart. And it's handled by Dubnyk. And he'll he'll get the whistle. Give us a chance to take a look at the keys to the game. Brought to you by the 2013 Ford Super Duty. It's built Ford tough.
Well, Kevin, for the Edmonton Oilers, maybe Tuesday night was the best game for them on their transitional game and the way they moved from defense to offense, did not spend a whole lot of time in the defensive zone, and they want to have that quick transition again in this game against the Florida Panthers. And for the Panthers, it's attack off the cycle. They're a big team up front. They have large centermen, large wingers. Attack the Edmonton Oilers into the blue paint off the cycle.
The Panthers 7th in the Atlantic Division. Each team with 6 wins on the year. Perron with the puck now. Perron moving in with Smith. Perron. Huberdeau takes him into the boards, but the puck comes to Smith. He tried to snap it out in front. Now a wraparound opportunity. Comes right to Thomas, and it's cleared away by Gilbert. Beloff at the point. Beloff gave it to Perron, but the puck comes back down into Oiler territory. Jeff Petrie. 21 minutes, 58 seconds in that game against the Columbus Blue Jackets for Petrie. He is averaging 22 minutes and 20 seconds, leads everybody in ice time. Ryan Campbell, speaking of leading people in ice time. Campbell, 7th in the league, over 26 minutes a game for number 51. Anton Beloff throws a hit against Jesse Winchester and has to go and collect his stick. Yakupov. And offside is the call at the blue line. As we mentioned, Louis, no changes for either team when it comes to their lineup, and why would there be?
No question, and neither for the Florida Panthers as well. Just when you have a 2-game winning streak coming in, both teams have been looking for wins this year and haven't had as many as they want. For Dallas Eakins, he liked the way the team played Tuesday night, wants them to carry it over into this game against the Florida Panthers, and they have early here with a 1-0 lead.
3 shots, 1 goal, 1 on the power play, so now 10 power play goals in 9 games. A power play that is rising up through the ranks. They came in the 7th best power play at home in the league. Eric Gudbranson activated from the blue line position. He's down low and he has the puck right now. Gudbranson behind the net, centers out in front and went right by Thomas Kopecky. And it comes to Hemsky. He'll start the left. He's got Schultz with him, and that is Nick Schultz. He went right in front of Tim Thomas. Now he'll go back to the blue line. Winchester. Can't get by Corey Potter. Florida Panthers making a change. And a long shot on Thomas. Sam Gagner handled by Thomas.
This is a replica of the remote that inspired the big win. The original was tragically lost in a couch.
Pick your winners today with Pools.
Well, Sam Gagner with a nice little transitional play here as this puck turns over. A couple chances for each side in that regard. Just a little turnover. And for Gagner, gets a good slap shot down that wing. And for Tim Thomas, just trying to get his bearings here after a pretty quick start by Edmonton, getting pucks to him.
It looked like he was shaken up on that play.
Not afraid to slow things down and make sure that things are on his terms. And when you look at his numbers against the Edmonton Oilers, pretty darn good record. 3-0-0, .98, .968 save percentage for Tim Thomas. So a building that he's felt very comfortable in here, and also playing against them as a member of the Boston Bruins.
He shot 2 of those victories were by shutout, but not tonight. Just 57 seconds into the contest, Everly a power play goal, and there's Beloff with a shot that goes way wide. Nugent Hopkins picks it up in the corner, gives it to Hall. Hall plays it behind the net for Everly, being watched by Gilbert. Nugent Hopkins to Hall. Hall out in front for Everly, and that pass didn't work. It was picked off instead by Scotty Upshaw. He'll give it to Brad Boyce. Boyce can't get by Beloff. Mike Motto will backhand it in. He was not in the lineup the last time these teams met. Mike Weaver has been out the last couple of games with flu. He is healthy, ready to go, but the winning lineup's not going to change. Acton's shot goes wide. Ferentz, his long shot handled by Thomas, and he will get the whistle.
And I like the shooting mentality of Edmonton early on. You know, last game outshot the Columbus Blue Jackets 32-14, really limited the chances against, but threw a lot of rubber the way to the net. And here for Ferentz, just picks up a puck off the wall, doesn't stop it. One-timer, knows he has bodies converging to the net. Great job by Thomas to take that one in the breadbasket, not allowed to drop down. But that shooting attitude coming into this game early, getting pucks to the net.
And the thing that allows Coach Aikens, when they have a lead, is to play this fourth line more. And we saw that in the game against the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah, this keeps everybody that much fresher too, Kevin. When you're spreading out the wealth, giving the ice time to all four lines, everyone gets into the game. Everyone feels it. And for this fourth line, they know they have to do a number of things to keep in the lineup. They have to get pucks out of their zone, get them in deep, establish that forecheck like this, work off the cycle, and be a big presence.
And a shot by Gazdic. Petrie throws it towards the net, and that one sits in the blue paint. A great opportunity there for Will Acton, if he could have just gotten a stick on it. Bart counts the puck in, and both teams want to get changes in, and they will. They have played 6 minutes in this first period. The Oilers continue their homestand on Monday. They'll take on the Chicago Blackhawks before heading to Nashville on Thursday. Florida, meantime, is going to play Calgary, and they'll play them tomorrow night. Fleischmann, he is stopped. To Branson, long shot. That one doesn't make it through. It was blocked by Petrie. Perron to Ferentz. A bouncing puck is now picked up by Fleischmann, and he will bring it in. Boyd Gordon handles him. The puck sits for Huberdeau, and a bad save by Devan Dubnyk, and a penalty coming up. And it will be a hooking call, so when we come back, Boyd Gordon will be in the box. The Oilers come close to making it 2-0.
That's going on between the Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation and the Oilers Copper Jackets is once again getting into the Christmas spirit by hosting their signature luncheon in support of the Christmas Bureau of Edmonton on Friday, December 13th. Attendees will enjoy great food, live holiday music, and both a live and silent auction featuring unique items and experiences. To purchase tickets to this festive event in support of the Christmas Bureau of Edmonton, please visit OilersFoundation.ca.
First power play of the game for the Florida Panthers. They have the worst power play in the league. As Kulikov lets it go, Dubnyk makes the save through traffic. Barkov with Upshaw and Boyce back to the point. It's Kulikov. It gets by him. They were 1 for 3 in the game in Vancouver. And Ofer, November 5th against the Oilers, had just one power play chance in that game at Sunrise. Ferentz turns, tries to bounce it off the glass. Kulikov keeps it in briefly. Hall up there on the penalty kill, and it's a nice pass up to Eberle. Eberle, one-on-one against Campbell. Holds onto it. Now he let a shot go, and it went off the mask of Tim Thomas. I guess he saw it all the way.
Yeah, right all the way into his face mask. A good high shot there by Jordan Eberle. Good little move afterwards to get out of the way of a big check coming his way.
Bjugstad in the corner. Gilbert tries to keep it in. 55 seconds left to go, and the penalty to Boyd Gordon. Runs around the board, waiting for it there. Thomas Fleischmann between his legs for Huberdeau. Huberdeau plays it back to Campbell. He and Gilbert on the point. Fleischmann, Gilbert, lets that shot go, and Dubnyk makes the save. The rebound ends up in the corner. Campbell down low. Gagne after him. It comes to Huberdeau. Huberdeau will give it to Campbell. Fleischmann back on the point as it comes to Jonathan Huberdeau. It hopped over his stick. Smith can't get it by Fleischmann. That'll go right in front of the Oiler bench, and Gilbert's going to have to go and get it. That will allow the Oilers to change their penalty killers. Penalty killers that have allowed just one power play goal in the last 4 games. Gilbert with a pass to Marcel Gottsch. Gottsch will drop pass to Kopecky. Kopecky out in front, and he tried to get it to Winchester just off the end of his stick and wide. Jesse Winchester, 1 point his last 3 games. There's a high shot by Gudbranson. It misses. Gilbert plays it to the corner. The penalty is over. Teams are back at even strength, but the puck stays in the Oiler end. Gilbert tries to feather one through with a wrist shot. That doesn't work. Jesse Johansson. He gets knocked down, and Thomas Kopecky is moving slowly over to the Florida bench. He got hit by Tom Gilbert, by Boyd Gordon, left his glove behind, and he is just to the bench now.
Yeah, they went really awkwardly, and Kopecky was pretty shaken up heading to the Florida bench, that's for sure. And you can see the helmet came off, and he was feeling too good.
Hall with the puck now. Taylor Hall centers for Nugent Hopkins. He gets knocked by Gilroy. Knocked down. Back to the point. Fell off. Good job to keep it in. Throws it in the corner for Hall. Hall being watched by Mike Motto. The pass intended for Schultz broken up by Mathias, but the Oilers able to keep that puck in. Stepping into a shot is Beloff deflected. Good save by Thomas. His best so far. 8 shots for the Oilers, 5 for the Florida Panthers. They got 2 of those shots on the power play. A penalty coming up to Jimmy Hayes, the newest member of the Florida Panthers. Came over in the trade from Chicago for Chris Versteeg.
Just took down Schultz there as he's going back for a puck. Here's a real good chance here by Kopecky as he tries to find Winchester backdoor. Just can't get a handle on a perfect pass through the blue paint. Here's Kopecky going in awkwardly. I thought it was the helmet that came off. It was actually his glove. And that's what he was holding going to the bench. So I guess he twisted up the hand some way, shape, or form in that tumble with Gotch and Gordon. Here's a little knuckle puck that makes its way all the way through to Tim Thomas. He hasn't seen a whole lot of pucks, clearly, but he's made a few good saves in tight. And that one there was a dangerous one for the way it was coming to the net.
Jimmy Hayes in the penalty box for cross-checking. The Oilers on their second power play of the game. They struck. And it was Jordan Eberle, his first power play goal of the season. And the 5 forwards will start this power play. Our power play ranks 7th in the league at home, 12th overall. Hall with the puck now. Hall plays it back to Yakupov at the point. Yakupov goes cross ice for Perron. David Perron back to Nugent Hopkins at the blue line. He'll give it to Hall. Hall walks in, down low. Eberle. Nugent Hopkins shot stopped by Thomas. Yakupov keeps it in at the blue line. Now he'll give it to Hall.
Nugent Hopkins got a stick top in his face.
Trying to get it loose. Play continues. Nugent Hopkins finally has to lose his helmet. Fleischmann picks up the stick and dislodges the helmet of Ryan Nugent Hopkins, who fires a shot at Tim Thomas. Rebound in front for David Perron. Nugent Hopkins still without his helmet. Eberle from the corner. He'll play it back to Hall at the point. Hall to Yakupov. Back to Nugent Hopkins with a wrist shot through traffic. Went off Upshaw into the net. And Ryan Nugent Hopkins is going to go collect his bucket.
Yeah, and he's wondering how there wasn't a penalty called this when a stick was caught in the little attachment where the chin strap gets attached to the helmet. Looks like the stick got jammed up in there and caught there. And Nugent Hopkins has a great chance, and then as he's coming out, you can see the stick just gets lodged in between him and his helmet up under the visor. So for Fleischmann, just on that little reaction, gets his stick up in an area it shouldn't have been and took Nugent Hopkins out of the play for about 10 seconds.
30 seconds left power play time, and there is Gagne with a shot with Ryan Smith providing the screen in front. And Tim Thomas makes the save. Well, you don't see that every day. No, the stick go up there, and then he was trying to get the shot, couldn't do it.
That's up underneath the visor too, and I can't believe that the 2 officials on the ice wouldn't have understood that a stick was jammed up underneath the helmet of a player. But for Nugent Hopkins, credit him, he just kind of took the bucket off, stayed in the play, and a good job by that line, the forward line, to continue the pressure and have the patience to hold onto the puck and get restabilized.
Their second unit is a little more traditional with 2 defensemen, and it is Beloff and Schultz. Hemsky, Gagne, and Smith. Hemsky throws it around the net. Smith waiting for it there. Back to the point. Beloff moves to the middle. He'll give it to Gagne. Sam Gagne to Justin Schultz. Gets it back again. Now he'll go down low for Hemsky. Hemsky takes the look, plays it back to Schultz, makes the shot, and then he was checked by Marcel Gotch just as the penalty is coming to an end. Jimmy Hayes is out of the box. Panthers make changes. Oilers try and take advantage. Here's Gagne's shot, and that one doesn't make it through. Picked up by Bukestad. He'll give it to Huberdeau. Jonathan Huberdeau. Huberdeau waits, goes cross ice. Out in front. Centering pass by Kulikov. Fleischmann couldn't put it home. Now another opportunity looks for Huberdeau. Back to the point. Gudbranson, who can fire the puck. Dubnyk makes the save and sends it to the corner. Bukestad from behind the net. Out in front for Huberdeau. Off his stick. And the Panthers unable to keep it in at the blue line.
Good pressure by that line of Florida after a good solid penalty kill to get away with a couple. Get a puck into the offensive zone and generate a couple of chances. We've seen it twice already, that puck going through the blue paint right in front of Devan Dubnyk. It was Fleischmann on that break that just couldn't get a stick on it.
If you drive on snow and ice, you don't want all-season tires. You want all-weather tires. Get Nokian's most advanced all-weather tire, the WRG3 at Cal Tire.
Now Devan Dubnyk is made 20 saves against Florida, and you can see, Louis, what the start and then the last 6 games.
Yeah, he's really dialed things in here and given his team a chance to win. In the last 6 games, you can see the numbers have vastly improved, 2.53 and .917. And obviously the 14-save shutout Tuesday night versus the Columbus Blue Jackets. And was really not tested a whole lot in that game Tuesday, but sometimes those can be a more difficult game for a goaltender. When he was tested, there's about 2 or 3 high-quality chances in that game. He shut the door, so played that much better as of late and gets to start again in this one here versus Florida.
Fewer shots that the Oilers have allowed all season. Upshaw going after it against Petrie.
The kind of games goaltenders do love, too. They don't have to make that many saves.
Here comes Nugent Hopkins. Everly looking for the pass. Gilroy broke it up. Pat Gilroy collects it, sends it around the boards. Petrie will cut it off before it gets to Scotty Upshaw, and he played it right in front of his own net. Gilroy keeps it in. Trying to get it to Barkov. Barkov, Upshaw, and Boys, the forward line. Petrie takes a look. He's going to have some time as the Panthers and the Oilers both want to make changes. Gagne, Hemsky, and Yakupov on the ice right now. Petrie will give it to Yakupov. Yakupov picks up speed across the blue line. Nail Yakupov 1-on-4. Shot goes wide, but there he is right after it. Little help from Petrie. Gets it back to the point. Tipped in by Gagne. Petrie turns and fires it just wide. Hemsky on the near side, back to Belov at the point. Belov will give it to Yakupov. Yakupov checked there by Marcel Gottsch. Belov couldn't keep that puck in. With 5 minutes and 55 seconds to go in this first period, the Oilers out shooting Florida 10-6. The difference has been a power play goal by Jordan Eberle in the first minute. Ryan Campbell goes right up the middle for Nick Bjugstad. Bjugstad with a button hook. He'll play it to Thomas Fleischmann. Fleischmann to Huberdeau. Huberdeau checked by the referee. David Perron takes a look. Perron flips that puck high to the middle. Dmitry Kulikov will bring it in himself. He gets squeezed off there by Ryan Smith and knocked him down. An opportunity now for Perron. David Perron. He's got Gordon with him. Checked by Gabrenko. Barkov. And another tie with a stick, and it was Kulikov with the man in the stripes. And Huberdeau dumps that puck in. Potter sends it around the boards. Gets to Joensuu with Acton and Gazdic. Barkov checked by Joensuu. Carries on. Potter gives him a little help. And number 6 able to bounce that puck to the blue line. And now he'll fight hard to try and get it out. And they finally do work that puck out.
A lot of tight battles down there going on, especially inside the blue paint. Those battles so important to win for the defensive side. You saw that one there. Florida relentless on not allowing Edmonton to get it out, but they finally do.
Winchester on the turnover. Fires a shot. Potter got in the way of that. With Gazdic. Checked by Gottsch. Carrying on is Matthias. He'll try to wrap around and went right through the paint and right by Marcel Gottsch.
Another guy left wide open in front of Devan Dubnyk there. Gottsch was just standing there in the back door, and that one gets through the blue paint and past him once again. That's 3 times it's happened, and all 3 times Florida hasn't been able to convert. But you're the Oilers, you have to start watching that back door a little bit more often.
Hayes can't get started. Checked by Hall. Campbell retreats along with Tom Gilbert. Gilbert. Backhanded in by Barkov. He'll give chase. Dubnyk leaves it there for Petrie. Jeff Petrie sees a lane. Starts away. Quick pass for Hall, but it was too far for him, and it banks right to Tim Thomas. Boys leads the team with 8 goals. Upshaw behind the net. Turnover by Petrie. Upshaw trying to work it back to the point. Instead, it's picked off by Hemsky. Starts away with Yakupov. Nail Yakupov, left side, drops for Hemsky. Hemsky moves to the middle for Gagne. Gagne dances in, slides it just wide. And the helmet of Tim Thomas comes off, and we get a whistle as Sam Gagne continues to search for that first goal of the season. It's Rogers Oilers hockey right here on the net.
10 years. It is the decade anniversary of a time where Wayne Gretzky and Paul Coffey and 57,000 people showed up at Commonwealth Stadium. The day began with an alumni game. Guy Lafleur, the ceremonial face-off, and Montreal took on Edmonton. And then after the alumni game, it was Montreal taking on Edmonton in NHL action. The Canadiens winning by a score of 4-3. The wind chill that night was about minus 30. It was tabbed a November to remember, and then it turned into a December to defrost.
You were in the stands with your son Jake?
I was in the stands, yes. We had about 15 layers each on.
I kept going into the Sportsnet tent because it was warm.
Have you ever seen a picture of the Michelin Man? That's what we look like. But I'll tell you what, a ton of people in the stands. It was an amazing atmosphere and terrific fan support to stick it out in that cold weather because it was chilly that day.
Perron shooting from any angle, and he almost fooled Tim Thomas. And he talked to us this morning about that, Louis. Why not?
Why not? You know what? Percentage-wise, it just says the more shots you take, the more goals you're going to score. And for David Perron, although he's shooting from a real sharp angle, this guy has accuracy. He's trying to bank this one off of Tim Thomas, and look at how much difficulty it gives him. We've seen him score a couple of goals from a sharp angle like that, including 2 in the last 2 games. And when you look what he's done over the last 9 games, played 6 goals, 4 assists compared to the first 10. He's dialed it up a notch, and he's shooting a lot more often.
8 points in his last 6 games coming into this one. He was the first star, naturally, in that game against Columbus on Tuesday. Under 2.5 minutes to go in this first period as Devan Dubnyk stops it, sends it around the boards. 11-6, the shots favor the Oilers. Campbell steps into a shot, doesn't make it through as Potter blocked it. The Oilers third in the league in block shots. Hemsky trying to get loose against Campbell. Gott shoots it right back in. Dubnyk will stop it and give it to Nick Schultz. Gagne, drop pass for Yakupov. Yakupov, nice move to get around Barkov. Schultz plays it to an open wing. Gagne is there. Scramble play in center ice. And now Ferentz will just send that puck down into Florida territory and then get another change in. Scotty Upshaw puts it behind the net. Jeff Petrie plays it off the boards. Nugent Hopkins to Everly, up to Hall. Hall has got Ferentz. Here is Andrew Ferentz, wrist shot, and he missed. Then Upshaw made him pay as he put him into the boards. Andrew Ferentz looking for his first goal as an Oiler. And that is an offside pass that went behind Brad Boyes. Rogers Oilers hockey from Rexall Place here in Edmonton.
Score and win if any Oilers player scores 5 goals in tonight's game. Joyce Douglas of Edmonton could win $1 million. Shop inside at Safeway, and you could be our next lucky winner right here on Sportsnet. The Edmonton Oilers are making a roster move today. Steve McIntyre assigned, or at least put on waivers, with the idea that he'll end up in Oklahoma City. And Louis, you did the job very well during your time. How would you assess the way Luke Gazdic has handled himself since becoming an Oiler?
Well, it's pretty hard not to like this kid, the way that he plays and the passion that he brings to each and every night. You know, leads the National Hockey League with 7 majors on the year. So, yeah, I think he's done a pretty bang-up job, and no pun intended, has handled himself very well, Gino. I think they found a good one here in Gazdic.
He fought Jared Bold in his last game to give him those 7 fights. And now Gazdic is tied for 6th in penalty minutes. He's got 57. A minute left to go in the first period. The Oilers with a 1-0 lead. Gilbert plays it off the glass. Belloc will go back and corral a bouncing puck as both teams make changes.
You know, getting back to Steve McIntyre, talked to him a couple days ago, and he actually talked about the fight between Gazdic and Big Brian McGrattan in Calgary, that long one they had, one of the toughest guys in the league. And even for McIntyre, you know, he's a team guy, doesn't like to see his teammates fighting too often, but said, you know, Gazdic handled himself very well. And for Steve McIntyre, finally back healthy, ready to go, and just needs to get in some games and getting back into game shape. And we might see him back again one day.
Well, you got to get your hunting partners all together.
Back in a tree stand.
Yeah. Boyd Gordon. He went 9-0 in the face-off circle against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Wins that draw. He's 5th in the league in the circle. Upshaw chips it in. Fell off. Head on a swivel. To the corner it goes. Schultz pushes it ahead for Perron. With 25 seconds left, it comes up to Ryan Smith. To the middle for Gordon, just off the end of his stick. Yeah, Dmitry Kulikov touching him, and it's Barkov who'll pick it up. He'll play it around the boards. Perron on the intercept, keeps it in. Here's Perron with a backhand, and that one slides just wide. David Perron has it again. Now he'll take a wrist shot, and Tim Thomas makes the save. Beloff lets it go through traffic, and that one deflects wide. Kulikov will have the last touch, and that will do it for a first period. That sees the Oilers get the only goal, and Darren Millard, they did it just 1 minute in. Jordan Eberle gets his first. We'll open your mic, turn it over to you right now.
Edmonton Oilers taking on the Florida Panthers, and it's not street lights, but red lights that the Edmonton Oilers have seen a lot of lately. 4 times in the third period with Devan Dubnyk at the other end of the ice. The Oilers beat the Calgary Flames, then 7 times in 3 periods against Columbus, and 1-1 here against tonight's opponent. And now joined by Mark Spector, and wow, an incredible run when it comes to offense, but it might not have been like that because of some of the things you saw in the first period.
Well, exactly. We're going to have a little talk here about how you win and how you lose them. We're going to start with how you lose. We've watched this Edmonton Oilers team try to get out of their zone this year. One of the reasons they've been so effective the last couple of games is because they haven't done this. There's Perron, then Ference can't get it out. What you're going to see now is the old fire drill, because you can't get the puck the last 2 feet over the line. There's a shot. It ends on a Gordon penalty. So, in fact, the fire drill lasts 2 more minutes. Here's another one. Corey Potter, nice easy pass, right? Whoa, not so much, folks. This one isn't a shot with highest chance on net. The difference with these Oilers, Devan Dubnyk backing him up and making the big save. But I'll tell you what, Gino, the thing that impresses me most about this 12-0 stretch of the Oilers isn't the 12, it's the nothing. It's not 7 against Columbus, it's 14 shots against. If the Edmonton Oilers are going to get good, folks, it's going to be less about the 7 goals and more about the 14 shots against.
Well, Dallas Eakins, when things were going bad, said how people were saying, hey, you suck, okay? Well, someone, when he's pumping his gas tomorrow, say, hey, coach, great idea with going with 5 forwards on the power play. What do you think?
Well, when you have 5 guys on your first unit that can toss it around like we're watching right now, it works. It's a little bit of risk and reward. The deal is this, all this skill, you're probably going to have the puck for longer and be able to maintain it. When you lose it with 4 forwards, 5 forwards, particularly smaller guys, you're going to have a hard time getting it back after an icing call probably, or after they ice the puck. So it's a risk and reward. It's paying off right now. The Oilers power play's got 10 goals their last 9 games. They're 4 for the last 5. They got another one tonight. Good work for the Oilers right now. Power play's carrying them.
And lots of reward, no risk at this point, Kevin and Louie.
Absolutely, guys. As you guys have documented, the Oilers have scored a dozen unanswered goals, and you go back to the third period in the game against Calgary when they came back and beat the Flames and then put up a 7 spot against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Second period is underway. The Oilers 12 shots, Florida 7. Schultz with the puck, and that's Justin Schultz with the pass to Hemsky. Nice off his skate, circles the net, tried to wrap it home. Gilbert will give it to Campbell, play it off the boards, trying to get it to Sean Matthias. He gets checked. The Oilers with a good start. This line of Yakupov, Hemsky, and Gagne. Here's Hemsky at the point, able to keep it in, moves it behind the net for Yakupov. Checked there by Tom Gilbert. Gosh finally manages to get that puck out. And Louis, you've talked about it before in keys to games. It starts the games and starts the period.
Yeah, no question. And for this Edmonton team, they have to realize that back on November 5th in Florida, this Florida team didn't give up. They're not a team that's just going to go away. They're going to continue to press and continue to try and push the issue and get back in this game. Only 1 goal lead for Edmonton, so they have to come out and establish that same type of period they had in the first 20. And a good first shift there by that line to get a puck in deep and generate a chance.
Boyd Thornton with the puck. He was a perfect 4-0 in the faceoff circle. So he has not lost a draw going back before Columbus. Petrie shots, and it sits in the blue paint, and there is Mono to clear it away. Another shot comes right on to Tim Thomas from the captain Ference, and he'll hang on to it. Let's take a look at the first period scoring summary brought to you by Worley Parsons Cord.
Well, it was Jordan Eberle on the power play from Nugent Hopkins and Hall that got the Edmonton Oilers on the board early in the first period. They outshot the Panthers 12-6 in that period. This shot here, a high riser by Petrie, just drops right down to blue paint. If you saw it, Ryan Smith had kind of blown a wheel, gone into the corner, in behind the net there, and wasn't able to be where he wanted to be, felt he was interfered with. Had a little discussion with the referee afterwards.
Nugent Hopkins won that draw, so the Oilers able to keep it in the zone. Boyce.
Well, you're the one that mentioned it early on in that first. It seems like Tim Thomas is having a little difficulty with the high ones. And, you saw, as you mentioned, one rang him off the face mask early. And that one there was a high one, too, that he just couldn't quite handle, and it dropped down in the blue paint.
All 5 of his wins this year have come against the Western Conference. He is 5-6 starting tonight. Remember, he got hurt October 22nd against Chicago. Is not available for that game on the 5th. Barkov barges his way in. Gets knocked down, but the Panthers able to keep that puck in. Alexander Barkov with Upshaw and Boyce. Eberle with it now. Eberle, he'll go cross ice and find Hall. Hall trying to split the defense, and a good defensive play there by Tom Gilbert. Gilbert plays it to Gabranson. Eric Gabranson, former first-round draft pick.
Big hit finish there. And for Devin Dubnyk, as you mentioned, the Big Easy feeling the flow here, and a couple of those wide-angle shots with bodies driving through. The Florida Panthers a big team, so he knows he's going to face some traffic in front of him. And you saw that last play. You talked about Barkov bashing his way through into the blue paint. That's how they're going to try and attack Devin Dubnyk. And the Big Easy has been pretty good in that regard as far as standing his ground.
Speaking of East versus West, 4 of his 5 wins have come against the Eastern Conference. Sean Matthias plays it back to Campbell at the point. Shot was blocked by Joensuu. And Joensuu will race after it. Thomas, though, swings it around the boards for Tom Gilbert. He gets checked. Chris Bartsch goes between his legs for Gotch to Campbell. Campbell to Matthias. Campbell headed to the front of the net. Sean Matthias with a wrist shot. Glove save by Dubnyk. And he thought about playing it, but he holds on to it, and we get a whistle.
Okay, when you look at the Florida Panthers and some of the long contracts and hefty contracts they have, Brian Campbell at the top of it, $7.14 million average per year, 3 goals on the year. He does lead the team with 12 points and logs a ton of ice time. Over 32 minutes he played in that game Tuesday in Vancouver in that shootout win.
And he is a durable guy. This is his 163rd straight game. As you mentioned, leads the team in points with 12, leads the team in assists with 9, and he's got 5 points in his last 5 games.
You're like Wikipedia.
It's easy when you write it down. A race for the puck, and Perron gets there first ahead of Mike Motto. Boyd Gordon on the far side. He'll give it to Perron. David Perron getting loose. Perron takes a look, sees a crowd in front, throws it towards the net. That was blocked by Matt Gilroy. Thomas Fleischmann now. He's got Huberdeau catching up, trying to form a 2-on-1. Fleischmann instead keeps, looks for Huberdeau, and he was checked by Jeff Petrie.
Oh, the Oilers got away with one there. Everyone a little bit puck watching in the offensive zone, and Huberdeau just kind of jumped into play. And for Fleischmann, tried to feed that puck maybe a little late to Huberdeau, who's a left-handed shot. Could have been a one-timer early. 2-on-1 doesn't develop anything.
And you wonder sometimes when you don't have the confidence. Fleischmann, no goals in his last 8. If he'd had a couple, he might have shot there.
Do something. You didn't generate a shot on net in a 2-on-1. And, we talked about a lot with the Oilers earlier on. They were trying to pass the puck into the net. And sometimes just going down that wing and ripping one is the best opportunity you're going to create. Plus, there's a rebound opportunity for the guy driving to the pipe. But for the Oilers, kind of got caught sleeping there just a little bit after the start of a good shift, getting the puck in deep. They just didn't see Huberdeau take off and make that a 2-on-1.
Calder Trophy last year, he had 14 goals and 17 assists. Anton Belov. Has Jimmy Hayes all over him. Jimmy Hayes turning 24 today. Eberle with it now. Eberle, Belov going towards the net. Throws it in front, and there is Tom Gilbert. 177 takes it away from another 77. Anton Belov looking for his first National Hockey League goal. Nugent Hopkins from the corner. Behind the net. Far side is Hall. He'll play it back to the point. Schultz to Ferentz. Throws it on the cage. And there is Tim Thomas. No rebound. He'll hang on.
Pro Hockey Life, the ultimate hockey megastore.
Well, Kevin, here's that replay again of Fleischman. You can see he sees Huberdeau, and right there would have been the time you would think to give a left-hander that opportunity, but tries to slide it through. And as you mentioned, maybe not the most confident right now. And the other way going back, as you mentioned, Beloff trying to score his first National Hockey League goal, looking for it, and a real nice defensive play by the other 77, Tom Gilbert, next Sullivan.
And we're going to see that a little bit more now as the goaltending situation stabilizes. The Oilers feel like they can put more pressure, and that means more activation for their defensemen.
And a situation you just saw there by Jeff Petrie, standing his ground on the offensive blue line, not backing away as soon as possession goes to the opposition. And something that they've worked on a lot to try and be just a little bit more aggressive and keep those pucks alive that normally would trickle up.
David Perron back into his own zone. We'll give it to Jeff Petrie. 15-9, the shots favor the Oilers as Perron picks it up at center. They'll just dump it in, peel off. Both teams making changes. Pass intended for Fleischman, never got to him. Now he'll get it back just inside the blue line. Battles with Sam Gagner for a puck, and Potter in there to help out as well. Yakupov comes in and takes it. Here comes Yakupov. He's got Hemsky and Gagner with him. Sam Gagner scores his first goal of the season. A happy number 89 makes it 2-0.
And he's had a lot of great chances to get that first one of the season. Nice goal here by Sam Gagner. What a pass by Nail Yakupov, who, takes his puck from the scrum, gets his feet moving. This is when he's so effective. Pushes Gilroy back, and watch Gagner just kind of slip into that scene. And Beard gets the puck quickly, off of his stick quickly. That's how he beats Tim Thomas, and the nice celebration afterwards. It's been a long time coming. Broken jaw in training camp. This game's coming into the start of the season, finally gets back in and gets his first goal of the year. You know he's happy about that one.
He went 22 games without a goal. But he has his first of the year at 6'10", Nail Yakupov. Gets the assist, Yakupov and Gagner on 4-game point streaks.
Number 64,
Nail Yakupov now with 9 points, 5 helpers. Brad Boyce is in against Nick Schultz, centering pass. The puck sitting there, and Potter didn't see it. Upshaw races in, but it was too late. Devan Dubnyk had covered it up, and now penalties coming out of this scrum. Sam Gagner celebrating his first goal of the season. The Oilers up by a pair.
Because of their annual hospital visits, Andrew Ferentz with a hands-on approach, and you think David Perron draws a crowd on the ice. How about the crowd he drew at a local hospital? Kids spending time with other kids, and even the newest Edmonton Oiler, Ilya Bryzgalov, getting down to the level of the patients. And hey, even the dogs were looking for some autographs in what was a great day for the patients and the players.
Nail Yakupov is in the penalty box. 2 minutes for roughing, the second power play for the Florida Panthers. Ferentz took a stick. Play continues. Has come back to Kulikov. He'll give it to Campbell. Campbell steps into a slap shot. Pad save by Devan Dubnyk. The rebound comes all the way out and forces the Panthers to retreat.
That's one way to do it, and a good shot by Campbell there. Walked right in. A lot of time to kind of look and see where he wanted to shoot for Dubnyk. Had a lot of bodies in front of him. Was able to get down in time and make that solid pad save.
Kulikov back to Campbell. Campbell, this time a wrist shot and another pad save by Dubnyk. Acton checked there by Boyes, but it comes to Ferentz. He can't get it by Campbell. And more penalties coming and more pushing and shoving. Petrie gets involved with Scotty Upshaw. Scotty Upshaw was the guy that Yakupov went after.
Yeah, and he had 2 goals in the last meeting between these two teams. The Fort McMurray native and Petrie getting involved there, but there was a delayed penalty, I believe, coming up to Florida here for a hook in the corner. As
Brad Boyes is going to the box.
It was Boyes that, I believe it was Ferentz that he got tangled up with trying to clear the puck down the ice and dug the stick in a little bit too deep. As a result, he'll go to the box. So just trying to get the puck back. Gets a little bit too aggressive. Here's that chance by Campbell as he walks in. Look at the screen by Upshaw in front there. So a real solid save by Dubnyk early on, and then Boyes takes the penalty to nullify the power play. So 1 minute and 10 of 4-on-4, and the Oilers will have a 50-second power play.
Nugent Hopkins will go out there with Hall, Beloff, and Justin Schultz. Nugent Hopkins will line up against Nick Bjugstad. Campbell stays out there with Tom Gilbert and Jonathan Huberdeau.
2 minutes.
As Louis mentioned, 4-on-4 now for the next minute. Campbell will play it.
The Panthers penalty boys hooking at 7.
Gilbert. Bjugstad got blocked by Beloff. Bjugstad gets it back again. He'll give it to Campbell, but it was tipped neatly away there by Nugent Hopkins, and Hall is on his horse. Taylor Hall checked there by Nick Bjugstad. And Campbell picks it up. Ryan Campbell. To the middle it goes. Pass from Bjugstad didn't work, and that'll chase Huberdeau back into his own zone. .11:43 left to go in the second period. Sam Gagner, his first goal of the season at 6:10, has made it a 2-0 lead for the Oilers. Sean Matthias. Matthias cutting for the net. Here's Matthias with an opportunity, and Devan Dubnyk stops him, and he'll hang on.
Well, NHL hockey continues right now. Friday night hockey features an Ontario Junior matchup in 48 hours' time as Windsor travels to Guelph for a 5 p.m. Mountain start tomorrow on Sportsnet 1 East and Ontario.
As we take a look at Sam Gagner, I asked him about how long the face shield stays on, how long he's going to wear those mouth guards, both upper and lower. And he said, not sure. But, hey, he scored a goal. They're not coming out.
It's working now.
It's working now. Gudbranson, who was open on that last play by Matthias.
Really impressive speech over there, Andrew Branson, who's a real big customer at 6'5".
Now he'll throw it to the net. Gotch got a piece of it, deflected wide. A power play opportunity for the Oilers for the next 41 seconds as Yakupov is out of the box. The Oilers 1 for 2. They have generated 3 shots with a man advantage. A goal coming in the first period off the stick of Jordan Eberle. Ference hammers that puck in. Campbell will get to it first to Gilbert, and he neatly plays it to Upshaw. Upshaw will find the lane and send it down the ice.
A great stick by Tim Thomas there to get out there and knock down that dump-in attempt by Andrew Ference. Had a lot of heat on it, came off the wall hard, but good hand-eye coordination with one hand and a big paddle by Thomas.
Hemsky, and a great feed from Gagner, just couldn't find it. Another penalty coming up. Belloc, net empty for the Oilers. Eberle's popped over the boards. And it's going to be a slashing penalty. Well, Suzanne Mitchell of Spruce Grove swiped a free club card on behalf of Safeway and Imperial Margin, has won the DVD prize pack courtesy of E1. As Gagner gets his first goal of the season, and Scotty Upshaw is headed to the box for slashing.
Just gets a little aggressive through the neutral zone right there. It was probably the second whack, although it wasn't on the hands. The first one did disrupt Hemsky's forward motion. The second one was just maybe a little too aggressive, and Scotty Upshaw has the
And the 5 forwards go to work. Eberle, Yakupov, side of the net. Played away by Fleischmann.
Time 9 minutes.
Nugent Hopkins back into his own zone to pick it up. He and Hall turn in unison. Nugent Hopkins across the blue line. He'll give it to David Perron. Get it right back again. Nugent Hopkins goes to the middle for Yakupov. He'll give it to Hall. Hall back to Yakupov at the point. Yakupov to Hall on the half wall. He'll slide it across for Nugent Hopkins. Steered away there by Marcel Gotch. Comes back to Yakupov. He will now give it to Hall. Hall got Perron down low. Comes across to Yakupov. Right in front of Perron, was just behind him. Now loose puck is cleared down the ice by Motto.
That was a pass by Yakupov. So good at picking up pucks out of the air like that. Just as it lands, a one-time pass to Perron redirects towards Tim Thomas.
Nugent Hopkins with it now. Schultz gave it to Eberle. He was checked by Gudbranson, and then Schultz able to keep that puck in. Gilbert has it hop over his stick right to Perron. David Perron back to the point. Nugent Hopkins. Drop pass for Hall. Taylor Hall. To Nugent Hopkins. Perron on the screen. There's a shot by Schultz. And David Perron parked himself in front. And the Oilers have another power play goal. It's 3-0.
And I'll tell you, Kevin, good to see Justin Schultz ripping this puck with a one-timer, getting it away quickly. Nice pass here by Hopkins as he just kind of puts it on a tee for Schultz. And just a little give and go here to buy some time. Eventually back to Hopkins. He just kind of slides it over, body in front. What a shot by Justin Schultz. 2 goals in 2 games back after missing 8. And again, good puck possession here by Edmonton. Snap it around, find your shot, and get it away. Tim Thomas, no chance on that one.
And the Oilers get their second power play goal of the game and 5th in their last 2 games.
An 18-point.
And Justin Schultz. Now they're giving that goal to David Perron, who has parked himself in front and may have tipped that. And Schultz picks up a helper. And Nugent Hopkins gets the other assist. 10:54 either way. And another power play goal for the Oilers, a 3-0 lead.
The assist.
So David Perron, his 4th power play goal of the year. 18 shots for the Oilers, 14 for Florida. And the Oilers' special teams have been the difference. As Petrie got his stick in the way of that Bukestad shot and sent it high up into the netting. The Oilers celebrate another power play goal. They've got a 3-0 lead. GPS, courtesy of Safeway and Imperial Margin. Congratulations on the goal by David Perron, the hottest Oiler. Leads the team with 8 goals.
And if you watch this view here, Justin Schultz tees it up, but watch Perron in front as it just kind of redirects off the stick higher over the glove of Tim Thomas. And a good overhead here. Watch it right off the shaft. And up into the net a little bit more. So David Perron, great hand-eye coordination. And again, in that blue paint where he loves to be, scores his 8th goal of the year.
And Ryan Nugent-Hopkins now has 4 helpers in his last 2 games. Got 2 tonight. Perron with the puck again. Wrist shot steered aside by Tim Thomas.
When you're hot with like David Perron, that's what you do. Shoot the puck even more. Things are going in. Keep hitting that bill in the net.
What do they say in basketball? Make till you miss till you make.
Absolutely.
Leads the team in shots. At 5 against the Columbus Blue Jackets.
And you mentioned Nugent Hopkins with 2 assists. That's 6 multi-point games this year for Ryan Nugent Hopkins. So when he gets his points, he gets them in bunches. No question about that.
And he's got 4 assists against Florida in 2 games. Kulikov sends it around the boards. Gets by Winchester, right to Justin Schultz. And Justin Schultz, as you mentioned, nice return. Played 20 minutes, 35 seconds in the game against Columbus, his first back. And he's got 2 points in his last 2.
Always concerning when you see a guy that skates like Justin Schultz, a growing injury, but you watch him out the way he pivots and 10 and 2 as we like to call. He's a 9 and 3 actually.
Gagne rips it and right into the glove of Tim Thomas. He slaps it away in disgust.
But such an important part of his game for Schultz, getting the feet moving and the puck up the ice. This is exactly what he does here. A nice little pivot, 1 pass wide, and then Yakupov again finding Gagne with speed. And for Gagne just using the defenseman as a screen, getting that shot through to the net. You can feel things rolling here, and for Tim Thomas, wisely gloves that one down and holds on to it to get a face-off.
He knocked it down the ice and then immediately apologized to the linesman. I had to go pick it up. Sorry.
Buy himself some extra time.
Yeah. Nugent Hopkins turns at center. He'll backhand it in. Thomas sweeps it around the boards. Can't get it by Eberle, though. Gets it to Hall. Hall against Barkov. Barkov. Kulikov. As for Barkov, off the pass from Gudbranson, too far for number 16. He's got 9 points. That's taken 2nd overall in 2013. Eberle, drop pass, Hall shot, Thomas the save. Beloff keeps it in at the point. Moves it around behind the net, intercepted by Gudbranson. He'll get it to Brad Boyes, who backhands it out. And Corey Potter will take a look with 6 minutes to go in the 2nd period. The Oilers with 21 shots. The Florida Panthers with 14. That's the number that Columbus had in the entire game. Thomas sweeps it around the boards. Bukestad checked by Joensuu. The 4th line out there now. Sean Matthias in a race with Corey Potter. And Potter wins that, and the faceoff will come back into Florida territory.
And we talked about quick transitions for Edmonton, and they've done it again in this game versus Florida. And, you know, for Dallas Eakins talked about that, the fact getting the puck up to the offense very quickly by the defense. The quicker you can do that with puck possession, the less time you spend in the defensive zone, which means you score more goals. And the Oilers now seeming to find that stretch pass a little bit more frequently.
By Perron, up high on Tim Thomas. Nick Schultz, he'll look for Boyd Gordon. Gordon keeps it in on the near side. Smith to Branson. To Sean Matthias. To the middle. To Nick Bjugstad. Jonathan Huberdeau. Huberdeau stopped. Nick Schultz watching him. Huberdeau still has it. Comes to the near side for Campbell. Campbell slap pass. And Matthias tipped that one wide. Oilers with 10 chances and their 21 shots. Now up to 22.
That was a good scene. Shot pass right there by Campbell. He waited for the pressure to go to the net, and a redirection goes up over top of the glass, but a good chance.
Rogers Oilers hockey right here on the net.
Footy on the net.
Gene's idea of heaven. 3 minutes, 45 seconds to go here in the second period. The Oilers outscoring the Florida Panthers. Taylor Hall moving in against Brian Campbell. Trying to throw it back to Everly, who was catching up. Stopped by Hayes. Beloff's got it. He'll play it behind the net. Campbell intercepts. Around the board it goes. Justin Schultz can't keep it in against Thomas Fleischmann. He starts away with Marcel Gotch. Gotch got Hayes going to the net. Takes the shot himself, and Dubnyk the save. Hall picks it up on the far side. Nugent Hopkins eludes Campbell, gets the puck to Beloff. Anton Beloff, Everly in front. Here's Beloff on the backhand. Campbell tied up number 14. But Beloff swoops in, throws it towards the net. It goes right through the paint. Petrie with a shot. Thomas stick that one up into the glass. Hemsky. Nice move around Gilbert. Bad boys on the far side. He'll give it to Marcel Gotch off his stick. Potter takes a look as the Florida Panthers make changes. Down the ice by Ferentz, and that one is going to come back on the icing call.
The Goals for Heroes program is proudly sponsored by Cenovus. For every Oilers goal this season, Cenovus will donate $400 to Valor Place Military Family Support House. To date, the Oilers have scored 63 goals for a total of $25,200.
The Oilers have had good success against the Florida Panthers. The last 8 trips for the Big Cats here to Rexall. The Oilers are 6-1-0, and one of those is a tie. Corey Potter without his stick, snapped in half and sitting on the far side. Ferentz doing his best. There's Upshaw from a sharp angle, and he put it home. Scotty Upshaw makes it a 3-1 game as he gets his 3rd goal of the season against the Oilers. They cut the lead to 2.
Just a real workmanlike effort down low here by this line. And for Upshaw, had a few words for Dubnyk as he was skating away. So not too sure what he said to him, but he did score 2 November 5th in Florida to make it a game and push it to overtime. And then he was the one in the penalty box when Edmonton scored, but here just walks it out and finds a short side on Devan Dubnyk. And ricochets it off the body. I did hear a little bit of bar there as he shot it, so he just kind of snuck it through there and gets his team on the board. So good work down low, a gritty shift, rewarded with a goal.
Scotty Upshaw has 4 goals this season. 3 of them have come against the Edmonton Oilers.
The assist to number 16, Alexander Gardner.
The Oilers have scored 14 unanswered goals until 16:34 the second period. Here's Perron. His shot is steered aside by Tim Thomas. Gets right back up, checked by Gobranson. Smith throws it towards the net. Puck goes straight up in the air. Huberdeau from the corner. Gobranson quickly up for Winchester. And now here comes Bjugstad. Bjugstad winds. His shot goes high and wide. Kept in by Winchester, but it comes to Hall instead. He'll play it to the far corner where Nick Schultz has room to move it out. Schultz to Potter. Potter Chased back by Fleischman. He threw it across for Schultz. He was gone. Sean Matthias with it now. Here's Matthias to Gotch. Dubnyk has to come up with a big save on Sean Matthias. Potter thought Nick Schultz was going to be there, and he wasn't. Another shot from a sharp angle. Stopped by Dubnyk. Oilers getting a little ragged here with 2 minutes and 9 seconds to go in the second period. Marcel Gotch from the blue line. Fleischman to Sean Matthias. Matthias all the way back to the blue line. Now he'll let a shot go. Dubnyk controls the rebound. It flies loose. And Eberle wants to relieve the pressure. Can't do it. Campbell keeps it in. And now an opportunity for Nick Schultz to send it down the ice.
Boy, a couple of good chances for Florida there. And as you mentioned, for Corey Potter, I think he thought Dean Morton was Schultz, his defense partner, where he was standing, because he passed it right to him and didn't really take a look. And after that sequence, the Panthers were able to keep that puck in the offensive zone and generate a couple high-quality chances. And Dubnyk had to come up big.
This perfectly preserved uniform came to us via a generous donation from our champion's wife.
Pick your winners today with Pools.
Well, here's that look at that turnover here. You can see for Potter, he just kind of sees a shape and a shadow, and it's the referee, not Justin Schultz. Or Nick Schultz, sorry, his defense partner. And as a result, Florida, give him credit, they pounced on that loose puck and kept it in there for quite a while.
A minute 20 left to go in the period. Mike Motto. Couple of chances. Does get it out. Brad Boyes trying to go cross ice. Ends up on the stick of Alexander Barkov. He'll put it in. Devan Dubnyk sweeps it to the corner, and there is Boyd Gordon. To Ryan Smith. Caron gives chase, and now those three will head off with less than a minute to go in the second period. Hemsky, Gagne, and Yakupov on the ice right now with Beloff and Justin Schultz. Marcel Gotch holds onto it. Gagne watching him. Now Gotch chased back into his own corner. Motto right up the middle, intercepted by Yakupov. And then he gave it right back to Motto, and he sent it down into Oiler territory. Fleischman all over Justin Schultz. Schultz makes the pass to Beloff. To an open corner, Gotch is there. Gotch throws it towards the net. Easy save for Devan Dubnyk, and he'll hang on with 21.8 left to go in the period.
And as we talked about before, the Florida Panthers are a team that aren't going to relent, Kevin, and they're going to continue to get pucks in there and establish that forecheck. And, you know, under new head coach Peter Horacek, he's really preaches that part of the game, just the structure, getting it in deep, not relenting. It looks like this puck is in full control, but a good forecheck, good hit. Next thing you know, you have puck possession, and a puck's going to the net.
Horacek named the head coach of this Florida Panther team on November 8th. Kevin Dineen relieved of his duties. Horacek 3-3 since taking over. Perron with a shot that rises over top of the net. Peretz keeps it in. Shot tip. Thomas the save. Perron! His shot goes right through on the stick side wide, just as the horn goes. Darren Millar, the Edmonton Oilers win 119 minutes and 27 seconds without giving up a goal. Upshall has it. It's 3-1 for the Oilers.
Well, the Edmonton Oilers finally had a goal scored against them, but the fact is that they also scored a couple of goals, so as a result, the lead is a comfortable one through 2 periods of play at 3-1. Listen, off the top of the show, we talked about Nail Yakupov and how he's coming on, and 2 periods into this game, it looks like you think that trend is continuing.
Well, yeah, when I want to know how a player is playing, you watch him yourself. I go over to the scouts. I know a bunch of guys over here that watch the Oilers play every night. And I talked to a scout on the way over here. He said, this kid is engaged now. Someone has sat Nail Yakupov down, whether it's the agent, whether it's very likely the head coach Dallas Eakins, and said, look, you can't just play when you have the puck. You got to play all the time. We're going to see a pack here of a kid who's showing the other side of his game. We all know him as a sniper. Watch this bullet pass to the stick to Saint-Gagne for the first ball. This is a kid who's going to try to find himself, right? He's got to learn how to play the defensive end of the game. He's got to learn that he passes sometimes, but here he's got to shoot. This is a pass in front to David Brunt. When Nail Yakupov sets up in that spot and gets that pass to him, he cannot be passing it to Perron. This is a kid learning how to play the game. He loses his speed here in the central zone, makes a nice, just easy pass, but right, a perfect pass to Sam Brunt, you have the scoring chance. So it's just a kid finding his game. I think the trade Yakupov bandwagon, Gino, is kind of empty right now. You see what he's done In his last 6 games, that predates the Larionov episode. He's on pace for about 15 minutes tonight playing real good hockey.
Okay, real quick. 10th
Sorry.
anniversary tomorrow. No, it's okay. We pay you to do this. Talk about the Heritage Classic.
I got to call him out tomorrow on Sportsnet.ca. Spent the day talking to people about it. We all remember it so fondly. It's amazing that 10 years ago Friday, we had this thing. There's 6 outdoor games this year. I want to say Dwayne Mandrusiak, you see him right there, longtime Eskimos equipment man, received the Commissioner's Award from the CFL Commissioners tonight out in Regina in the Grey Cup. Way to go, Dwayne. You're our guy. One of the best men in town in Edmonton sports. He's a beauty.
Dwayne, definitely the man. Drusiak. Louis and Kevin.
And you know what? 10 years ago, they play outdoors, and now, Louis, this year, they're playing a game in L.A. at Dodger Stadium. Eberle with the first shot of the third period. 6 outdoor games. Louis, you and I, though, have done an outdoor game. We've got that. We can say we did one.
We did one, yes.
Now, it wasn't in the National Hockey League.
It was a great game, though.
It was in Hamilton. It involved the Marlies. Dallas Aikens was the coach a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and I actually played in a game in a warm weather climate down in Las Vegas.
Let's take a look at the scoreboard summary. Warnley Parsons Cord brings it to you. Just 1 goal in that first period.
Jordan Eberle on the power play is 7th of the year. In the second period, though, Edmonton carried it forward with 2 more goals in succession by Sam Gagne's first of the year, David Perron his 8th, and then Scotty Upshall with his 3rd goal against the Oilers and 4th of the season made it 3-1 in that second. That's how it stands now.
Barkov and Boys get the assists. They changed that. So Brad Boys with 11 points on the season. His team, though, down by 2. The Oilers have won 3 games this year when they've led after 40 minutes. Trying to win their 3rd game at home and have a 3-game winning streak for the first time this season. Sam Gagner with Yakupov headed to the front of the cage. Barkov cuts that off. Kulikov will give it to Boys. Boys chips it in. Upshaw going after it. Dubnyk, good job to send it to the corner. Now Yakupov will flip it high. Can't get it by Dmitry Kulikov. Kept in by Boys. Boys with Upshaw. Yakupov comes back and gets that puck to Gagner. Wants to relieve the pressure. Flips it high. Perron waiting for it to come down. David Perron with Ryan Smith. Perron, tipsy doodle move. And a penalty coming up, and it's going to be a slashing call. It comes a minute 23 into the period, and Brian Campbell is headed to the box.
And again, good work here by David Perron just to kind of hold on to this puck by time. He's so effective at just protecting a puck, not allowing anybody to take it off him. Right there, the whack by Campbell's going to be called. And there's no question that David Perron is the player in the Edmonton Oilers that draws the most penalties against and gets his team on the power play the most, and he does it again there, and they'll go back on the power play.
Their 5th opportunity with a man advantage,
Ladies
and the
and
Fab 5 go to work.
To number 51, Brian Campbell. 2 minutes.
Yakupov back to Nugent Hopkins.
Time 1
Hemsky.
minute 23 seconds.
Hemsky goes cross ice, and it's picked off there by Marcel Gotch. Gotch with a pass for Sean Matthias. And Louis, here's the risk reward with 5 forwards.
Yeah, no question. Good backtracking there, though, too.
Matthias comes out of that pile with the puck. He gave it to Upshaw, but the shot was blocked.
Too many bodies around Matthias to allow him to walk out of the corner there, but he did just that. He got a good chance as he went back into the slot.
Yakupov goes cross ice. Eberle is there to the middle, and Matthias sends it all the way down on to Devin Dubnyk. And the Oilers are going to change up that first unit power play and get the second unit on with lots of time, a minute 7 to work with. And Justin Schultz, as the whistle goes, and maybe too many men against the Edmonton Oilers. There was some confusion in front of the Oiler bench, and it has cost them the rest of this power play.
That is going to be what it is. A too many men penalty to Edmonton here, so a tough break there. But here's Matthias. Great work by him just to kind of weave his way through 3 Oilers. And it was Neil Yakupov that actually blocks a shot by Scotty Upshaw, who was coming in late. And here's the confusion in front of the Oilers bench. Just too many bodies jumping on, not enough going off. Yeah. I kind of don't like that call too much myself.
We will play 4-on-4 now. Nugent Hopkins is going to go over and serve the penalty. So Campbell still in the box for 1:04. Bjugstad won that draw against Sam Gagner, but they didn't drop it fairly, so they'll do it again. Boyd Gordon has been a demon in the faceoff circle. He's 10-1 so far tonight. You couple that with a 9-0 effort in the game against Columbus. Huberdeau goes cross ice. Kulikov with a shot. Dubnyk makes the save with Bjugstad looking for the rebound.
That was a quick strike right there and a good little move by Kulikov to get that shot through. We've talked a lot about the youngsters of the Florida Panthers in this game, and when you look at the list, second overall in 2013, Alexander Barkov, Jonathan Huberdeau, who is an extreme talent, third overall in 2011, and Erik Gudbranson, third in 2010, not to mention the centerman down there, Nick Bjugstad, who was taken 19th overall in 2010, the year that Gudbranson was taken. So some good high-end young talent, and lots of Dale Talon, the general manager in Florida, to work with here and build this team around.
Huberdeau had the shootout winner in that game against Vancouver on Tuesday. Thomas gave it away to Hall. Behind the net, Gagner works it out in front. It's a shot go, and Thomas makes the save. Kulikov to Huberdeau. Huberdeau waits and gets the puck to Dmitry Kulikov. Kulikov trying to cut for the net. Off the end of his stick, recovers. So another young guy, Barkov. They couldn't get together, and then Kulikov takes down another Russian in the form of Anton Belov. A sliding hip check.
Took out the lower half of Belov. They're not allowing him to make that pass wide.
Campbell out of the penalty box. Oilers shorthanded. Smith, the shorthanded shot. Tim Thomas forced to make the save and hang on to it. So Smith does his job.
If you're looking for commercial insurance or risk management services, contact us to see what the power of insight can do for you.
Safeway's featured participating product for tonight's hockey game is Imperial Margarine.
Third power play for the Florida Panthers. They are 0 for 2. They've generated 4 of their 21 shots with the man advantage. Scotty Upshall has the only goal. He gives it to Alexander Barkov. Barkov, Boyce, Upshall up front, Gilbert and Campbell on the blue line. And it's Campbell who keeps it in for Gilbert. Gilbert lets the shot go, blocked by Petrie. Gilbert gets it back again. He'll give it to Upshall. Upshall being watched by Acton. Boyce back to Gilbert. Gilbert dishes off to Campbell. Ryan Campbell cross ice for Barkov. Back to Gilbert. Shot goes wide. Boyce with it now. Upshall was in front. He drifts off to the other side. Gilbert whips it over to Campbell. Campbell right back to Gilbert. Gilbert. There is Boyce. Boyce for Barkov, and it hopped over his stick, and the penalty is over. Long shot. Rebound in front for Upshall. Clear to the corner. Teams at even strength. And now more pushing and shoving. Ferentz and Upshall, and they're going to drop the gloves. And Ferentz does a number on Scotty Upshall.
I'll tell you, Scotty Upshall's been in the blue paint a lot tonight. He's been yapping, giving it to Devan Dubnyk, and a few others scored the goal. And for Andrew Ferentz, he just took exception here and started chucking away. And looks like Scotty Upshall might have drawn him into a little bit here as he didn't drop his gloves. But you're going to beat and stand in the blue paint. You better be ready to protect yourself. And Ferentz had enough.
Well, the outstanding play, outstanding result is brought to you by RE/MAX. Outstanding agents, outstanding results.
We're going back to the second period. There's the first goal of that period. Sam Gagner with his first goal of the season, and a beautiful pass by Nail Yakupov for Gagner on the tape, off the tape in the back of the net. Made it look easy, and that made it 2-0 at that time. It stands as the go-ahead goal right now.
Well, he said he changed the shield on his mask, and it may have made a difference because he had to wait 23 games to get that goal.
I'll tell you, somehow Nail Yakupov has found himself in the box again, too. So I might be the extra to Ferentz that he's going to serve. Because I do believe Ferentz will get the extra one there in that little scrum, as he's the one that did drop his gloves.
So the extra 2 goes to Ferentz, and Yakupov, as Louis mentioned, serves it. So the Florida Panthers are back on the power play. Gilbert back to Campbell. Campbell fakes the shot. He'll go across to Huberdeau. Huberdeau options, gives it back to Campbell. Being watched by Boyd Gordon, who's up front with Ryan Smith. The pass from Gilbert back to Campbell doesn't work, and Thomas comes way out of his net. They give it to Brian Campbell. Now it's Will Acton and Jordan Eberle up front, along with Nick Schultz and Jeff Petrie. And Petrie swings it around the boards. It comes to Acton. It is kept in by Fleischmann. Bukestad to Gilbert. Gilbert to the middle to Huberdeau. Back to Bukestad. Over to Campbell. Ryan Campbell dishes off to Tom Gilbert. Gilbert. Jonathan Huberdeau. Huberdeau gives it to Fleischmann. Fleischmann waits. Now he'll give it to Campbell. Campbell right through a seam. And it ends up going over top of the net. The net comes off the moorings, and we get a whistle.
Well, this is how things got sorted out here after that little scrum in front with Ferentz and Upshaw. And for Upshaw, he just kind of makes a little contact there with Dubnyk. Ferentz doesn't like it. They both punch each other in the face with gloves on, and you'll see 2 gloves fly off. And it's Andrew Ferentz's, and he just gives him the business pretty quickly as Upshaw doesn't get his gloves off, Kevin. But in that process, he actually got a 5-minute major for fighting, and so did Ferentz. The only other penalty was to Ferentz 2 minutes for roughing too, so he does get the extra 2, and that's why Yakupov was in the box.
A minute left in this power play as Gilroy steps into a shot. Pad save by Dubnyk. The 4th power play for the Florida Panthers. Brad Boyes sends it around. Waiting for it there is John Matthias. Boyes to Campbell. Gilroy on the point with Campbell. It'll come around the near side. Matt Gilroy tried to sweep it over to Campbell. The Florida Panthers will have to retreat. Markov. He'll shoot it in. Matthias waiting for it. He gave it away to Gagne. Gagne couldn't get it by Gilroy. Gilroy. Barkov snaps the shot. That one goes wide. Potter got a piece of it. Back to the point it comes. Campbell with it now. He'll give it to Matt Gilroy. Gilroy, slap pass, looking for Boyes. Good job by Gagne to break that up. Boyes has it on the far side. There is Potter on the intercept. Off the stick of Boyes and into the seats.
Good stick there by Corey Potter, and good work down low here by the Florida Panthers, and good urgency shown by them down by 2 in the 3rd period, trying to generate a scoring chance and cut the lead to 1. And Boyes, the top scorer of the Florida Panthers, with some good work down low here. Just good puck pursuit. Good keep in at the blue line, not to allow this to get out, and right away working into the net with bodies converging there. And for Boyes, just trying to throw it out to the blue paint, but nobody was there. But I like the fact that for the Florida Panthers, when they get it down low, they're taking it to the net in a hurry and looking for those rebounds.
A power play that has connected just 5 times on the road this year. They are now 0 for 4. 13:23 to go in regulation time. The Oilers with 30 shots. The Florida's 22. Marcel Gotch behind the net. Gotch back to the point. Gobranson's shot doesn't make it through. Hayes to Chris Barch. Barch spun around by Nick Schultz. And Nick Schultz is going to get called for holding. When we come back, the Florida Panthers will go on their 5th power play of the game.
Well, Edmonton running into some penalty problems. The latest one to have that happen to him is Nick Schultz, who finds himself in the penalty box. We've talked all night about the Heritage Classic and the 10th anniversary, which is coming up tomorrow. And Taylor Hall was at the game, but only as a fan. He and his dad, Steve, were at the game, made the drive up from Calgary. But as a result of that Saturday and evening spent in Edmonton at Commonwealth Stadium, Taylor missed his minor hockey game. And the result for his team back in Calgary was an 11-1 loss. So I don't think Taylor missed many more games after that.
That wouldn't be worth it, though.
That's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and that was obviously the game that started all off as far as the outdoor games experience in the National Hockey League now, and Edmonton can be proud of that. They put on a great show and a couple great games.
3rd power play of the period for the Florida Panthers. They are 0 for 4 so far in the game. Dmitry Kulikov. Thomas Fleischmann. Pass for Huberdeau doesn't work. Jeff Petrie was there to cut it off. Jordan Eberle will send the puck down the ice. The Oilers 19th in the league in penalty killing, 17th at home. Fleischman tries again. He'll send the puck around the board. All waiting for it. Can't get it by Dmitry Kulikov. Huberdeau and Beloff all over him. The puck comes out to center.
Good pressure there by Beloff as Huberdeau wanted to set up high on that half wall. So Beloff read the play, pounced on him early, and was able to poke that puck out of the zone.
Florida making a change. They got cut, and here comes Hall shorthanded. Taylor Hall with a wrist shot, but it was Mathias who's got his stick in the way. Barkov. Drop pass for Gilbert. Quickly up for Sean Mathias. Mathias trying to get around Beloff. Goes behind the net for Barkov. Given a bump there by Corey Potter. It's double teamed with Beloff, but it is Boyce. Tries to push the puck back to the point. Does to Campbell. Gagne blocked one attempt. He keeps it in for Boyce. Now here's Gagne on the intercept. He'll turn, bounce it off the boards, but Barkov keeps it in. Now he'll walk in. Alexander Barkov. Back to the point it comes. Campbell waiting for it. He and Gilbert at the point. Tom Gilbert with it now. Gilbert. He'll go down low to Barkov. The rookie goes to the middle. Push back to Campbell from Boyce. Here's Barkov. Thought about a shot. He'll go cross ice. Gilbert will let it go. Rebound in front. Slides wide. The penalty is over. Schultz is back on the ice. Florida with possession. Campbell at the point. Campbell waits. He'll give it to Barkov. Back to the point. Gilbert fires a shot. There is Devan Dubnyk to make the save and hang on.
It's game day at Hudson's. Half off wings and pints of Molson Canadian every time Edmonton plays. All day long. Hudson's, Canada's pub.
Shop and swipe your club card at Safeway today and you could be our next lucky winner. Watch future Sportsnet telecasts so you could win a week of unlimited luxury at Dreams Resorts and Spas, courtesy of redtag.ca.
A couple real high-quality chances. The last part of that sequence there on the power play is Gilbert will tee up this shot through traffic. And a good save once again by Devan Dubnyk, who here's some chants from the Edmonton fans acknowledging his fine play.
22 saves so far on the night for him. Schultz dishes off to Perron. Perron throws it back. Thomas makes the save, and the Panthers are away. Hayes. Pass for Barch. Intercepted by a backtracking David Perron.
Good job by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins to step in there. Knew that Justin Schultz had jumped into the play. So he hangs back and takes the D position. That allows for a backtracking Perron to break up that play.
Nick Bjugstad will come across the blue line. Get around Petrie. Ends up behind the net. Bjugstad against Petrie. It's sent to the middle. Yakupov picks it up and he is away. To Ales Hemsky. Hemsky hangs on. Hemsky goes down low. Boyd Gordon looking in front for Yakupov. Tried to get a stick on it. Bjugstad to Campbell with speed. He'll dish off for Gilroy. Petrie comes around to the near side as the Panthers make changes. 9:38 to go in regulation time. Ales Hemsky along with Yakupov, but a bobble at the blue line causes an offside. Rogers Oilers hockey from Rexall Place. 3-1. The Oilers have the lead.
60s your home on Saturday for the Vanier Cup, crowning the champion of Canadian college football. It's the Calgary Dinos taking on the Laval Rouge et Or at 10:30 a.m. Mountain. That's this Saturday morning. Well, a couple of nights ago, Devan Dubnyk blocked 14 shots. Tonight, his team has blocked a total of 13, something the Edmonton Oilers have done all season long, Louis, but I'm guessing the pain feels a little less and a little better that the results of these block shots are now leading to wins as opposed to losses.
Yeah, no question. You know, when you're paying the price like that, when you're winning games, you don't feel it nearly as much.
And they've done a really good job of blocking shots on the road. They were leading the league in block shots away from Rexall.
Another icing call coming up here at Edmonton as that little chip was just before the line.
So the Oilers looking for some momentum, Louis, as they take on a pretty good hockey team on Monday in the form of the Blackhawks.
Yeah, well, they're catching them in a good situation here where they've come in and put three solid efforts together so far in this one too, including this one. And a team that seems to bring the best out of Edmonton, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Stanley Cup champions of last year. So we'll see if the same holds true there. They got to get through this one first, though, with 9:05 left in it. This Florida team ain't going to give up.
Hall couldn't get it to Eberle as Barkov came back and broke it up. After that game against Chicago, the Oilers will hit the road for 3. Nashville, Columbus, and Dallas. We'll have all for you here on Sportsnet. As Louis mentioned, still lots of time left in this one. A 2-goal lead as the Oilers try and sweep away the Florida Panthers here in the month of November.
We're allowed to look at them.
Yes, we are.
They're not.
No. Nice pass. Gagne, wrist shot, Thomas, save, rebound. Yakupov was trying to get to it, and of course, nobody likes that. Gotch has a few words for Yakupov, who comes right back. Now Tom Gilbert steps in.
Still having a few words. For Yakupov, never afraid to get his nose dirty. Watch this little play here, just a nice little poke up the ice to Sam Gagne, who's had a real fine game tonight. Gets it to the net, waits for it to flatten out, gets the wrist shot through, looking for a rebound, and a good job by Thomas to pounce on it as Yakupov was there. And maybe catches a little piece of the glove that Tom Gilbert didn't like too much, but for Nail Yakupov, buzzing again tonight.
Yakupov, a 4-game point streak for him. Another face-off win for Boyd Gordon. Perron, nice move with a backhand. Thomas the save. Campbell picks it up, and he will flip that puck over to Marcel Gotch. Gotch sends it around the boards. Nick Bjugstad will get to it on the near side. Bjugstad lost it to Smith. Campbell, though, keeps it in for Marcel Gotch. Fires the puck towards Steven Dubnyk, who made a blocker save. Now Ryan Smith has time. He'll play it to David Perron, who's going to push it back to Petrie. Panthers make a change. Ferentz to Luke Gastic, the fourth line, getting an opportunity here. With 7:43 left to go in regulation time. Campbell is out there forever. He hit Jimmy Hayes in the head with that pass. Campbell's got it again. Right up the middle for Hayes. Nice play there by Schultz to cut that off. Gasdik's got it. He'll play it off the boards. Kulikov intercepted. Gasdik, though, trying to finish the job by getting the puck in deep. Schultz will give it to Potter. Corey Potter with a couple of assists in his last 2 games. Now Nugent Hopkins against John Matthias. Gudbranson to Hayes. Cross ice for Matthias. Matthias with some speed. He'll button hook, play it to the middle. And Kulikov can get the shot away. Hayes behind the net. Nick Schultz handles him, knocks him down. Upshaw for Matthias off his skate. Hall chased back into his own zone by Dmitry Kulikov. The Panthers want to get a change in. Everly with the puck now, one-on-one against Gilroy. Button hook, waits for some help. Finds it in the form of Hall. Trying to get it back to him. It was broken up and it's picked up now by Boys. He'll fire it to an open wing. And Justin Schultz will have some time. He'll set up behind his own net. Survey the situation. Gagne. Nice little pass to Yakupov. Yakupov trying to split the defense. Hemsky carrying on, but he couldn't get a stick on it. Gudbranson back the other way. Gudbranson. He gets knocked down by Anton Belov. Couple of big hits for the big Russian.
Gudbranson's a big boy, too. For Belov just stands up perfectly with the shoulder.
Here's Gudbranson with the puck now. He'll step into a slap shot. Did not get much of that one. Justin Schultz lays it off the boards. The Oilers top 10 team in hits. And into the game, 7th. Petrie for Smith. That didn't work. Tom Gilbert to Kulikov. Off the boards to Bjugstad. Nick Bjugstad flips that one high. Huberdeau checked by Petrie. 5 minutes, 23 seconds to go. Andrew Ferentz from the corner will give it to his D partner, Jeff Petrie. Pass for Smith, almost intercepted, but Smith carries on. Drop pass for Perron. Smith against Gilbert. Kulikov to Huberdeau. Huberdeau, long pass for Nick Bjugstad. Bjugstad. Get Perron with it. Huberdeau turns. Matthias, all the way back to his own blue line. Campbell to Huberdeau. Got Hayes with him. Trying to play it to the middle. Hayes can't get the shot away. Perron gets it, wants to relieve the pressure, wants to get off, flips it down the ice. Matt Gilroy will play it back for Brian Campbell. Has Campbell been off the ice in this third period?
Unbelievable. I'll tell you, he has incredible lungs. The guy never gets tired.
Came into the game 7th in ice time. Huberdeau steps a long shot. That's Gobranson's shot, goes just wide. Upshaw sweeps it by the net. There's Devin Dubnyk, checked by Matthias. Sean Matthias lays it back to the point. Long shot stopped by Nick Schultz, and it comes to Hall. And that's sent down the ice. Good wait. Yeah. No icing. The Oilers get a change in. Here's Gobranson again. His shot misses the target. Barkov waiting for the near side. He is checked by Yakupov. Gobranson comes back defensively.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm really impressed with Eric Gobranson, the way he can skate for a guy 6'5", 210. He can fly.
First round pick in 2010, went 3rd overall. The Oilers are top 10 side when it comes to hits. And look at this one by Anton Belov, sending the big man to the ice.
Canadian are teaming up to bring the ultimate game experience to your favorite away game venues. Grab your friends and join us for a complimentary drink and tons of prizes at the Mercer Tavern on Friday, November 29th. Don't miss out on the chance to win the grand prize of a trip for 2 to Las Vegas to attend the NHL Awards. Follow the Edmonton Oilers on Twitter for contest updates or visit edmontonoilers.com/GameDayLive for more information.
Gene, 3 minutes, 41 seconds to go here in regulation time. The Oilers out shooting Florida 34-25 and hold a 3-1 lead. Trying to win their 3rd straight game for the first time this season. Anton Belov, swing and a miss. Brad Boyes comes up with it, sends it back to Campbell at the point. He'll flip it in, gets by Barkov. Comes to Thomas Fleischmann. Fleischmann gets tied up. Gilbert carries on, gets it to Barkov, gets the puck back again. He played it back to the point, but Brad Boyes was there, but he couldn't reach it. Just over 3 minutes left to go in regulation time. Here comes Brian Campbell. Campbell leaves it there for Matthias. Sends it through on the backhand. Upshaw, given a bump there by Petrie. Hayes to Matthias, behind the net. Sean Matthias, Hayes battling out in front, gets it to Upshaw, back to the point. Campbell fakes the shot, now he'll play it behind the net, but Boyd Gordon is there on the intercept. Around the boards and out. David Perron on a race, Upshaw gets there first. Perron almost picked his pocket. Upshaw, Kulikov swept behind the net. Dmitry Kulikov up top, Matthias lets it go, and he went high and wide. Jeff Petrie can't get it out. Nugent Hopkins against Gilroy. Gilroy wins it. Hayes with a shot, and that one goes over top of the net. David Perron now will make the safe play off the boards and out, and that allows the Oilers to get a change in with 2 minutes left to go in regulation time.
Another high-quality chance there for the Panthers in the slot, Kevin, late in the game.
What did Muhammad Ali call it? The rope-a-dope.
Rope-a-dope. I don't think Dallas Eakins will think that's a rope-a-dope now.
Jordan Eberle now. Trying to backhand it out. Nugent Hopkins does get it to Hall, just out of his reach. Bukestad to Gotch. Gotch waits, he'll go cross ice. Campbell, he fires a shot, and that one goes wide. Gilbert able to keep it in for the Florida Panthers. Huberdeau on the far side, the net is empty. 6 attackers out there now for Florida. 1:25 left to go in regulation time. The Panthers down by 2. Taylor Hall, empty net awaits. Gilbert prevents it. Nugent Hopkins. Here's Eberle. Scores! Jordan Eberle started the scoring. He gets the Oilers' 4th goal. An empty net job. He's got 8 on the season.
Nice little passing play here, too. Great patience shown by Taylor Hall here. Knows he wants to gain the line. Doesn't want to just fire this puck down the ice. Holds on to it. Finds Ryan Nugent Hopkins right there. And then the nice pass over to Eberle, who just delays. You're not going to deny him of a gaping net as he puts it in for a 4-1 lead.
Well, with that 4th goal by the Oilers, Peter Christensen of Stony Plain has won a Hoover Wind Tunnel multi-cyclonic bagless canister on behalf of Safeway and Imperial Margarine, and Jordan Eberle, who gets his 2nd goal of the game. and 5 points in his last 3 games. Nugent Hopkins and Hall get the assists. We're under a minute to go. The Oilers with a 4-1 lead. You got to go back to March 26th to April 3rd. The last time the Oilers strung 3 wins together, that was part of a 5-game winning streak. And for the first time this year, they'll have 3 straight wins. As the puck goes straight up in the air. Ryan Nugent Hopkins, 3 helpers on the night.
Man, boy, just a sneaky three-point night for him, too. Nice passes, makes it look so easy. And the top guns of Edmonton came to play tonight.
The Oilers are going to win their 3rd game at home. And in doing so, will broom the Florida Panthers in the month of November. And the fans here at Rexall on their feet. The home team wins their 7th game of the year. Devan Dubnyk now has half a dozen wins. The Oilers stop Florida's 2-game winning streak by winning 3 straight here and 2 straight at Rexall.
Just another good, solid team performance, Kevin, by everybody involved. All 4 lines were chipping in the play. Devan Dubnyk closed the door when he had to, making some big saves, especially in this 3rd period as Florida put the pressure on. And the Oilers were able to finish it off with an open net goal and seal the deal 4-1 for their 3rd straight win.
They have beaten Florida 5 straight games here at Rexall. As we take a look at the game review, brought to you by The Brick. Nobody beats The Brick for furniture, mattresses, appliances, and big screen TVs.
Well, it was Jordan Eberle that quickly got the Oilers on the board 57 seconds into the game. Sam Gagner with his first goal in 23 games. Gets that in the 2nd period to make it 2-0. And the special teams tonight, the Edmonton Oilers won that battle 2 for 5 on the power play and killed all 5 power plays against in their 3rd straight win.
Let's take a look at the play of the game now as the Oilers leave the ice. It's brought to you, of course, by Rogers, bringing fans the fastest speeds in more places. Rogers, LTE.
Well, we're going to go to the hottest Edmonton Oiler with 4 points last game against the Columbus Blue Jackets on Tuesday night. He gets another one tonight on deflection on the Justin Schultz shot. It's David Perron in front with a nice redirection. 9 shots, I think he had in the game tonight. And that was the play of the game.
And the captain of the Edmonton Oilers standing by with Gene.
Yeah, and with Andrew Ference, the captain, and let's start at the end. And what did you think of the way the fans kind of sent you off into the dressing room, standing up and applauding, considering what it had been like previously here at home?
Well, we've heard it that loud this year. It was just the other way. So it's a lot nicer. Obviously, this is without a doubt a passionate fan base. That's what we like, and they're knowledgeable. So, I think our emotions are probably pretty much in check with theirs. When we weren't playing well, we were equally frustrated, and when we've put together a couple games now with some pretty solid play, it's a good feeling. So,
what do you think this team has done then? In your words, I'm sort of paraphrasing, turn the booze into cheers here at Rexall Place.
Well, it's a lot more individual commitment. Just to, we've talked about it for a long time. I mean, we hope that the learning curve would be a little bit steeper, but just positional hockey, coming back hard, in the right places, back checking all the time, not just some of the time. Just tiny little things that have added up into, less time in our zone, better breakouts, better D-zone coverage, and I mean, our skill takes over once we're on the right end of the ice. But to tidy up those areas where we're spending way too much time on our own end, I mean, that's been a huge change.
What's it been like being captain through the bad times, and now things start to turn into the good times?
Well, it's just like being a teammate. I mean, I think it's everybody's doing their jobs. Some guys are talkers, some guys are leading by example, some guys need support. I mean, it's just a room full of guys, and that's the way it is on any team for a captain or a teammate or a young guy or old guy. I think what we're asking here is that whether you're a guy like me or a really skilled young guy like Yak, you're going to contribute what you can. In my case, just trying to play defense and provide some words of wisdom here and there. And for a lot of our guys, they're obviously providing scoring, but they're reaching a little bit deeper, into the something that I think they haven't done before is blocking shots, back checking, really positional hockey, and that's what turns good teams into very good teams. So it's been nice to see. It's been encouraging to see these last few games.
Andrew, thanks for this.
All right, thanks.
Should mention some fisticuffs as well. 2 fights in the last few games. I hope you take it the right way. I don't want to make another fight here. No, Andrew Ferent's happy, and he should be smiling. Local kid. Come home, and things are starting to turn in favor of him and the rest of the Oilers, especially these three. The number 1 star, David Perron, who just continues to play great hockey and results in goal scoring, has 8 on the season. Devin Dubnyk, coming off a shutout a couple of nights ago, only 1 allowed this evening. And Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, our last tally, total of 3 assists on the evening, as our 3-star selection is brought to you by Molson Canadian, die-hard fan and proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
Rogers Oilers Hockey on Sportsnet.